Hi, I'm Edward Current. I recently made a video called I Hate Phony Christians about people who pick and choose from the Bible. Now, just to be clear, the whole Bible really is the true Word of God, all of it. But obviously, contrary to what I said, not everything in the Bible is to be taken literally, duh. I'm just sick of godless atheists always quoting embarrassing verses back at us Christians, totally out of context. And you know, I'm starting to realize why people like me are called apologists. We are always apologizing for the Bible being so gosh darn confusing, challenging. But now that we've said we're sorry, we have full license to interpret His holy word with the help of His heavenly guidance. In other words, I'm here to put the Bible into context and tell you what God really meant to say. So, let's start at the beginning. Genesis chapter 1 tells us that God created everything in a week. Well, that's obviously true and literal. How do we know? Because it disproves evolution, which just happens to be a godless blasphemy. Coincidence? Yeah, I don't think so. Genesis also talks about giants that once lived. Well, that's true. They have found skeletons of giants, Some of which were very successful hoaxes. A lot of people believed in them. And if enough people believe in a hoax, the fact that it's a hoax eventually becomes a hoax itself. It's kind of like Christianity. It started off as just a bunch of inspirational stories, but then so many people believed that they actually happened, us believers went looking for evidence that they really did. Evidence like those skeletons of giants. Atheists, I hate to say this, but that is a big fat checkmate. Okay. Then there's the Flood and Noahs Ark. Okay. Well, Noah's Ark was real. They found pieces of something on that mountain. And the flood had to be real because, well, look at the Grand Canyon, duh. Now, as for this idea that there had to have been millions of animals aboard the ark, it's better if we just don't go there. Same thing with the snake that could talk or the dude who lived in a fish. Let's just not go there. Believe me, your faith will be stronger for it. I'd better fast forward. Okay. Mosaic Law, Leviticus. You have to understand stuff like historical and cultural context. Leprosy was huge back then. That's why there are all of those parts about clean versus unclean. And they don't necessarily apply today now that God has given us medicine. Right, wearing mixed fabrics. We have all-temperature detergent now. There's a passage saying that if your house has really bad mildew, it should be torn down. Hello, scrubbing bubbles. They do the work of Jesus. So you don't have to. Right. Condoning slavery. Look, back then, people were slaves the same way people today have jobs. Only they didn't have to commute or pick a medical plan. And the performance reviews were brutal. My point is, the Bible needs to be read in the context of the time when those desert goat herders, God, wrote it. Unless it's about homosexuality. It says right in the Bible that that's an abomination, which is why we need to outlaw gay marriage. God was clearly stating His opinion on that there. Running out of time. Okay. Eat the flesh of your sons and the flesh of your daughters. Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children. Don't take these direct commands to kill innocent women and children out of context. It's actually just God talking to Himself. Like any parent, it's his right to, flay open his children alive if they misbehave. Oh, and that verse, Mark 16:18, about poison not harming believers, that refers to our souls, not our bodies, see? Duh, you can't drink poison and live. Besides, a lot of passages like that one were added centuries later by editors and translators who revised the Bible over and over, with God guiding them, of course. I mean, how could someone sit down and edit the Bible without being guided by the Lord's hand? So, all right, summing up, God haters love to oversimplify the Bible and distort its wisdom through deceptive ignorance. Of course, those are the same people who believe that your great-grandfather was a chimpanzee. Are you really going to listen to a twisted version of the Bible from some godless nutjob who just opens the book and reads it aloud? No, you need the heavenly guided interpretations of a selfless, learned man of God to sort out its many mysteries. Someone like Pat Robertson, who only wants to save your soul and has no other agenda, political or financial or otherwise. Well, thanks for watching. Keep reading the Bible, but remember, if something sounds wrong or impossible or even evil, don't worry. It's probably just out of context. Good night, and God bless America.